Well, good morning. Welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith. Hope you all are having a great day today. I am so far. It's a beautiful day. Starting off a little cool, but they say it's going to be warming up to the 70s. Boy, this has been a crazy year, hasn't it? We're heading up. I want to talk a little bit about putting yourself out there. I think it's very important. We're headed up here in a few minutes to Topeka. That's in Kansas, for those of you who may not know, and to join the People's Convoy. Uh, we're going to be going with it from Topeka, Kansas to Oak Grove, Missouri. I'll probably shoot some video a couple of times along the way just to kind of let you all see what it's like, what it looks like. We're all excited, letting the kids stay out of school because this is a lot more important than, when they have a chance to see something like this. And some people may say, well, it's not historical. It's part of the way that our political process works. The people getting together and expressing their opinion, and hoping that it has an effect, and it does have an effect. It does. Sometimes it doesn't have the effect that we want it to, or that we think that it should immediately, but it's by putting together a lot of individual acts that ends up, bringing results. And it's how the other side does it, and our side doesn't do it as well, to be honest. So that's I want to touch on that because I was thinking this morning as I was getting ready to head up there. Some of the smartest people I know. And some people who express themselves so well and have bedrock values and principles about freedom, about liberty, about our country, about the way our country is supposed to run, supposed to be. So many of them are just silent in the public discourse, as it were. I know I don't mean to sound so uppity by saying things like public discourse, but that's really what it is. When people that I know in my own life, sitting around and just talking about things, they are among the most brilliant people, and even to me they are inspiring. But they don't get out and tell anybody else in the world, and sometimes I get frustrated about that. I get irritated because they have so much to give. They have so much to add. They could have such an impact on the world. But up until now, they just won't do it. And I'm hoping that when they see this, they'll say, you know what? Maybe I should. And I think there's a lot of you out there like that. And there's a lot of people out there that you know that are like that. And so what I want to put out here today is that it's not enough to just sit around the family room or sit around the family birthday party and talk about things with people you agree with and who agree with you. That's not enough. Well, maybe if I get back to that, I'll tell. Well, I'll slip it in right here. I had a guy call me one time, all upset about something that was going through the legislature in Kansas here, and he was so upset about things. And he says, we've got to do something about it. He says, I don't know any family that's more politically involved than we are. Do you? And I wanted to give him an honest answer, and what I said was, well, I don't know. What political groups do you belong to? What political situations are you involved in beyond complaining about it with your own people in your own house? And he kind of took a minute and he says, you know what? You're right. And I want to point that out. A lot of people vent, and it's the danger of venting too much without action. It's like a pressure cooker. You let you keep letting that pressure out, it's not going to blow. That's the purpose of a pressure cooker. But when people vent, they have this idea that they've done something. They haven't. Venting to people with whom you agree does nothing, okay, except make both of you feel good that you've expressed something and that you were supported by the other person. It takes more than that. It took more than that to establish this country. It took more than that to get the right things done with this country. The other people have done more than that to destroy this country, and somehow people on our side are not willing to do more than that. But I want to ask now, do more than that. Do more. Start speaking up around coworkers, around other people that you know. I know that a lot of people say, "Well, I don't want to offend them. I don't want to, risk our friendship." Hey, half the time they're risking the friendship with you by expressing opinions with which you disagree. But that's the problem with our side. We tend to just be, we'll keep our mouth shut. It's not worth arguing about. It's not worth fighting about. Well, you know what? It is. If freedom is not worth arguing about to you, then you don't want real freedom. If liberty is not worth even arguing about, let alone fighting about, then you don't care about liberty. You're just mouthing the words. So I want to encourage everybody. I want to ask everybody, start promoting your beliefs. Start letting the world know about your beliefs. And if you have a reputation, and I hope that you do, if you have a reputation that people respect, you're going to be able to bring those people around. Many of them, not all of them, but many of them. And don't tell me that you can't, because I have many times, for years, okay, for the last 30 years, more. I'm older than I think. Now, if you have an abrasive personality and you're the kind of person that always wants to start an argument, you're going to do more damage than you're going to do well. So I encourage you, and I'm sure I'm not speaking to most of you out there, but I would encourage you to adjust the way that you interact with the world. You have to present a reasonable but strong and unflinching position. Now, how can you do this? Well, I'm sure that you can do it just in your world. You have to do it. You have to stand up. And if you're surrounded by people who agree with you, hey, lucky you, right? You don't have to mess with this stuff. But you also then have the opportunities to express your opinion to other people, which does a couple of things. First off, it'll let other people know where you stand. Secondly, it will sway three things. Sway triple of things. It'll let people know where you stand. People look up to people who let me know where they stand. If they're not asshats about it. Secondly, it may, in many cases, persuade someone toward your position, or attempt to, and a lot of these little things build into a big thing. Thirdly, it gives support and strength to others around you who may feel the same way you do, but don't really have the guts to express it. And you'd be surprised. Once one person starts to express these things in a group, they're always surprised how many more people feel exactly the way they do, and will come to you and say, "Man, I am glad to hear you say that. I thought I was the only one here that felt like that." And you know what? Very often you'll find that a majority of the people in a group feel exactly that. Maybe not exactly, but pretty much like that. But all of them were afraid to say anything. It just takes one, and then two, and then three, and then four. And if you're not in a situation where you can do that, or even if you are, there's another thing that I would ask you to do, and that is start commenting on this channel and other channels like it. Leave a comment. I run into so many people that call me on the phone or email me or text me and say, "Boy, I really agree. I loved what you said on that video. I loved what you said." And I want to say, "Well, why didn't you leave a comment?" Okay, thank you. I'm glad that you did. But if you leave a comment, you see, when other people come to the channel, it helps enforce that. It lets people who come by who may not be diehard in their feelings. They don't know what to think. And when they don't see that many comments, well, they go, well, I don't know, man, there's a few people that agree with that, but who knows? What if they saw a whole bunch of comments of, intelligently expressed thoughts saying, I agree 100%, and this is what we, even if that's all you say, that's fine. You're exactly right. And I'm not saying this so everybody will get on and give me pats on the back. What I'm saying, this is the information battle that we have to win. And when people at least will see a bunch of comments, great, that was great, you're exactly right, that's fine. But if you can put down, because I've got a lot of intelligent people here, right? Y'all are smart. I said before that I think you all on American Reversion may even be smarter than the ones over on Integrative Preparedness, and they are the smartest that I've seen on YouTube. But you all are even, I think, a little bit better than that. But for all the people who are watching this who never comment, because I know some of you all, you are just as smart. The world needs to hear what you have to say. If you're not going to stand up, if you're not going to make even a comment on this, what does that say about how much you care about really changing this country? Do you really want to do it, or do you just want to complain? Do you just want to blow off steam, which does nothing? Okay? Remember, you look at an old steam engine, the steam that's let off, that's not the steam that's driving the engine, right? The stuff that's driving the engine is the stuff that's in there doing the work. So please, I'm going to ask, I am asking, leave comments because it helps. But more than that, for this grand scheme of things, understand, realize the importance of your position, the importance of your expression. We hold up our founding fathers. Why? Because these were the men that stood up and said what they felt. Stood for their principles, got up there in front of God and everybody and put it out there. I'm Jefferson, and here's what I think. I'm George Washington, and here's what I think. I'm Sam Adams, and here's what I think. Okay? Those were the heroes of our founding. Everyone has an opportunity and an obligation, if you want a decent country for your children and grandchildren, you have an obligation to put yourself out there. If you don't, you may not be part of the problem, although you might be, but you're sure assisting the problem simply by your abstinence. What was the guy, Edmund Burke, one of my favorite sayings, and everybody knows this, when he says, all that's necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And I've always argued that, as in the face of evil, if you do nothing, could you consider yourself good? I don't think so. But in this what he said applies to this. If you're doing nothing, you're allowing evil to triumph. Period. Seriously. Now, I'm sorry if I came out a little hard on this. I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but what I do want to do is let you know of your importance, the importance of you getting on here. It doesn't take very long. If you watch these videos, get on here. Just say, I agree. It doesn't take but a second. Good job, good video, whatever. And it's not that I'm asking for pats on the back. Trust me. I have more things to think about than that. But the message needs to get out there, and it's up to you all. And then, if you've got something in you to start your own YouTube channel, that's great. Start it. Let me know. I'll put a link to it. We'll let everybody know. Whatever you want to do. But everybody has to stand up. Be willing to stand up, because if you're not, you're just hiding and complaining. So, anyway, you all have by the way, over on Patreon, I just put up a link to another article about that thing that happened down in Texas. Remember that thing that I talked about last night? If you'd like to support us, join us over on Patreon. Throw us a buck or two to help us do what we do, and we just keep on doing it. You all have a great day. Remember, America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it, and it needs you to stand up and put yourself out there, okay? All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.